to each his own, as I say all the time. It's easy. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, so you can always do it different ways. We like the way we do it here. But again, thank you guys so much for all of this, for helping. You don't understand. It's not just the things that I do behind the scenes. It's not just thank you for listening to the show every day, although that right there, you've already gone above and beyond. But how many of you guys every day share the links of this show? You tell somebody else to tune in. I see stuff every single day of you guys going out there and spreading the word, pushing the show, letting people know about it. And I mean that, because I say it all the time. It's easy for me to tell people to listen. I'm supposed to, and I'm supposed to tell you it's a good show. So when you guys do it, that really means something, because then people go, oh, well, of course Jerry's going to tell me his show's good, but when Joe Blow tells me his show's good, Joe's my brother, so I'm going to go check this out. That's you guys, and that's all part of the stuff that I'm thankful for here on the air. And then, of course, behind the scenes, plenty of things going on that keep me grounded and let me know that it could be worse, and a lot of times it usually does get worse, and the bad passes, and here you go. So just think about that, you guys. Regardless, wherever you're at right now, think about the fact that whether it's because it's your lunch break, or because it's you don't work, or it's your day off work, or whatever it is, you get the chance to sit down and listen. Apparently you like what we're doing, so you get the chance to sit here and do this. And if nothing else, be thankful that you're not listening to my buddy Chuck Booms. There's something right there. There's always something to find, you guys. And no reason for me to keep going with this, but you know where I'm at. I'm not kissing everybody's butt. I'm as real as can be. Thank you guys from the bottom. Absolutely. Joe Blow is Curtis's cousin on the wife's side of the family, if you didn't know. And thank you guys, seriously, for letting this thing happen and being as successful or whatever you want to think it's been, whatever level you want to qualify that at. Thank you guys so much. And just keep in mind that no matter what, man, there's always something. Even if you got to dig and scratch for one thing, there's always something out there. And you know what? Maybe even if you can't find it, here's the other thing. Sometimes, I get just like everybody else, man. And, I go, well, this is going wrong and that's going. Maybe there's somebody out there that's thankful for you. That's just as good. So keep that in mind. Maybe even if you have a hard time finding something to be thankful for, maybe, just maybe, there's somebody out there thankful that you're here, and that's every bit as good. All right, guys. Well, as I just gave you a Thanksgiving dissertation for 15 minutes there, you know who else is thankful? Colt McCoy, baby, my man. As I get ready to go to the break, I'm not even going to wait till later. I had to drop that in just for giggles here this morning. Speaking of getting to do this and all the things that we go through, Lordy, we all remember the RG3 debates a few years ago. I used to joke and call that other radio station RG3 the Fan, because they literally went on a blood drive for months to convince the Browns that they needed to trade Holmgren's first and second born grandchildren, whatever they had to do, sign over the Lerner fortune, whatever you had to do to pry that draft pick away from St. Louis at the time, and get that draft pick and get RG3, the franchise saver. And look, it is what it is, but just funny sitting here looking at it now. And the guy who was here at the time was Colt McCoy, and everybody's like, man, get Noodle R. McCoy out of here. That guy's garbage. He's only in Cleveland could he be the quarterback. Not only did he stick around long enough to, because of injury, take somebody's job. Now that's what the backup quarterback does, and then they go back to being the backup. But man, there's no injury issues this week. Washington's just like, you know what? We're going with the guy that gives us the better chance to win. And you can get mad at this all you want. And those of you that don't like Colt McCoy, and I get people's arguments, don't get me wrong. But my point is, this sentence just has to make you scratch your head and go, wow. I mean, the Washington Redskins decided that Colt McCoy gives them a better chance to win on this day than RG3 does, man. I'll tell you, talk about scratching his head. RG3 has got to be trying to figure that one out right now. He sits in the same club with, when guys like Whedon and even Johnny Football. I'm not trying to get on him too much, but what I mean is guys that sit there at home and they scratch their head and they go, how the hell did I not have my job? How the hell did that guy become the starter? He did. And I do get a chuckle out of that. Plus, I like Colt. I like Colt not in a biased way. I like Colt McCoy for everything he stands for and for what he went through to still be where he's at. I know some people go, I don't care about all. Well, I do care about that stuff, and I think Colt's a hell of a kid, and he's still there. But look at the full circle. Full circle. He was here. He was getting pushed out of the way. They couldn't push him out of the way fast enough for anybody, but coming all the way back around. Look at this season. Talk about Thanksgiving stuff. Look at this weekend for Colt McCoy. He went through getting bumped out of the way for guys that weren't even on your team yet, getting people wanting to draft him. And then this year, he comes face-to-face with the ghost of Brandon Whedon, who replaced him, and then he plays against him on Monday night. Then he comes and replaces RG3, and the guy, I get a kick out of it, because for everybody that, has gotten sand kicked in your face once or twice, Colt McCoy had his share of sand kicked in his face after what happened here in Cleveland, and it's just good to see. Wow. But both of those guys that he was put to the shelf and said, hey, get out of the way. We can't get this other guy in here quick enough. And yet, who's still standing? Little old Colt McCoy from Texas. More power to him. I don't know where that goes, but more power to that kid. I know he's thankful for being the starting quarterback this week for the Washington Redskins. All right, guys, let's take a break and get this out of the way, because when we come back, let's get rolling. Doug Plagens, the voice of the Lake Erie Monsters, is going to start things off with us right off the bat. We'll talk about 3-3 coming up for the Monsters. Grand Rapids last weekend, they split, and so much more. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan is talking Buckeyes against you-know-who. That school up north. We'll do the preview. We'll talk Browns, a little bit about Johnny Manziel, Noah Spence, Mike Brandenberry joins us, and so much more. Let's get rolling. And you know what? What the hell? I'm going to ask you, since I'm so thankful for everybody that shares the show, do me a favor and do that now. If you're listening live, click on the links of wherever you're listening and ask somebody else to join you here on the Sports Fix, because as I said, it's better from you than coming from me. Hook us up. Spread the word. When we come back, we're kicking it off with Doug Plagens. Hey, phones aren't open. When they are, it's 216-539-7535. So instead, hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. Email us, TheSportsFix@AOL.com. Let's roll, baby. Doug Plagens of the Monsters joins us next. Time to feel like a monster here on The Fix.
She's a bad mama jamma. Ooh, she's bad. She's as fine as she is. Hey, she's a bad mama jamma.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
what you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
We'll be right back.
Sports Fix listeners, you've heard me talking about it. Millionaires being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. I've been playing there too. It's now J-Rock's favorite one-week fantasy football site. What's one-week fantasy football? That means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Have a player who's hurt? That's no problem at all, because you change everything week to week. Injuries don't derail your chance at victory. It's a new season every week. You're never stuck with the same players. You can pick your team in just minutes and be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day. $1 million just for playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play for free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com.
The Sports Fix is on iHeartRadio. Download the free iHeart app today. Subscribe to the show and get your fix.
You love Cleveland, and you already know how much we love Cleveland. You know who else loves Cleveland? GV Art and Design. Everyday fans, you and I wear our pride on our sleeves. Now, you can wear your pride on your chest. GV Art and Design has one of the hottest Cleveland sporting lines. Log on right now to gvartwork.com. Check out all of their fantastic designs.
And don't forget, use the sale Sales code FIX10, FIX10, to save 10% on your total purchase.
Follow GVArtwork.com on Facebook, and remember, GV Art and Design, it's not just a shirt, it's a statement.
Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. Real time spent making real decisions, creating real victory.
I'm the greatest man in the world!
And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize.
I mean, a really real prize.
Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs.
The trophy's 12 feet high, and it is glorious!
Football, baseball, hoops, you name it, they have it. Plus, they have awesome draft kits and party supplies to make all your preseason activities the envy of everyone. If your league needs a ring, belt, or trophy, or you want to upgrade what you already have, there's literally only one place to go. If you're going to be a fantasy jock, do it right.
It's mine, the most magnificent belt ever created, and it's mine.
With America's Fantasy Sports Superstore, FantasyJocks.com.
What's your fantasy?
Now, back to the Sports Fix.
Feel like a monster.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix live here on the Sports Fix Radio Network. It's Cleveland Sports, which means even in 2014, Cat's got no problem getting into a Colt McCoy argument. Hey, man, you can argue all you want, man, but that cat, he's got my, like I said, my respect for earning, not being handed, earning his way back to a position that he wanted. Whether he stays there or not, whatever, but I mean, again, but I laugh because as soon as that name comes out, both sides of the argument will come out. Brandon Whedon will be the same way. Well, I don't know. So many people, he may just be written. His chapter of history may just be erased. But just funny. I just saw in the chat room right away two completely converse Colt McCoy opinions. I disagree with you, Vashon. He wasn't a world beater here in Cleveland, but he wasn't awful either. And he didn't have. Come on now. Anyways, I love it, man. When people don't like the quarterback, like Brian Hoyer, then the rest of the team is just so good that it overcomes Brian Hoyer. And when the team stinks, like the ones that were around a few years ago that Colt McCoy had, well, it wasn't the team's fault that the quarterback couldn't win. Anybody can change their argument. Anybody can make their numbers and stats fit their argument. Trust me, I do this for a living, man, but I think it's disingenuous. We'll talk about it, though. Hey, I get it. Colt McCoy was not a world beater here, but Colt McCoy, again, I'll throw him in the argument with some other guys that had he ended up somewhere else before here, had he not started here, we'd be having a different Colt McCoy discussion today. But whatever. He was banged up coming out of college, and that hurt the arm strength. I'll give you that, but there's more to it than just that. And hey, man, he may just be what he is, but I've got a copy of Growing Up Colt right here, and just because of this, I'm going to give that away on Black Friday, too. I'm going to hook somebody. May have to hook you up, Vashon, with a copy of Growing Up Colt. Anyway, welcome back to the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you. As you hear Monster playing in the background, it's because it's Monsters time early. I know a lot of times we do this in hour 2 of the show, but Doug Plagens is kicking things off with us here today. Monsters split a couple last weekend. They get to enjoy the holiday. They get to stay home here for the first part of it, but they've got 3 in 3. They're going to work off whatever pounds they may put on for the holiday here this week with 3 and 3 coming up this weekend. Let's talk about that right now on the hotline. Doug Plagens, voice of the Lake Erie Monsters. Doug, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic, man. First and foremost, of course, happy holiday, happy Thanksgiving week to you here. And I don't know if you've got any kind of crazy plans because the Monsters are right back at it on Friday, but you doing anything special for the holiday?
Well, pretty basic Thanksgiving stuff, but like you said, it's a good time of the season to be at home. Last year, the Monsters were on the road Thanksgiving. It gives you a different kind of team building you can do on the road. You know, last year we had a team Thanksgiving dinner in Rochester. We happened to play. I remember in Utica the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and then in Rochester the day after Thanksgiving, so there was no sense in coming back to Cleveland in between. So we just kind of set up shop in Rochester for a couple days, and team had Thanksgiving